Take a message to General Johnston. This is General Longstreet. I have disentangled myself from the woods, and I'm ready to proceed to push the attack on the crossroads, on the Williamsburg Road and the Seven Pines Crossroad. It appears that General Couch has pulled back to a defensive position. We may lose some good boys, but we will take that crossroad. Regards, General Longstreet.
Okay, g'day viewers, welcome to a Seven Pines battle report, and I'm just covering this part of the battle which is south of the railroad, although I may have the railroad running up through here. But we have Casey's division and Couch's division behind him there defending. They've been pushed back from this defensive position earlier, and Longstreet has finally got on the right road and now pressing for the attack. So the main objective is to capture this crossroad in the middle and inflict more casualties upon the enemy. Okay, so that's the situation. You can see from the map the Union have some hasty defenses here. They've fallen back from this position where they had the fallen trees as their defense. And so they've fallen back, made some hasty defenses here, so the defenses will give them +1. So let's have a look at their list first. Back here they've got, let me check the right, it's Couch. Couch's division is back here. There's Couch, and he has 3 batteries of artillery, and he has, who is it, Devon's cavalry are up here dismounted in the woods, and Abercrombie and Peck are the 2 brigades which are back here. So they are in reserve. They're not going to get released until the Confederates hit the front lines here. And then up the front we have Keyes and Casey, which are having a chat here on the road. And then they've got 3 brigades on the defense with 1 battery as well. These guys are all on the defense. This thing is Palmer's brigade out here. They're going to be a bit unpredictable for my AI sheet. Well, we'll see how that works. This is the 2nd or 3rd time I've tried it with some few tweaks. So the AI, the artificial intelligence, will be operating. These guys will become aggressive when they come on. They also have Heintzlmann's brigade or division will come out of the swamp. And the Confederates have 1 brigade which is going to come out of the woods over here. So have a look at the Confederates. We've got Longstreet and Hill are over here. Longstreet and Hill, and then deployed on the table we have 2 large brigades. One is Garland and the other one is Rhodes, 15. So a couple of large experienced brigades coming on. Following them will be Anderson and Rains will come on in the same area. And then later on, about 3 o'clock, about halfway through the game, Jenkins and Kemper, one of these brigades will come out of these woods. And the other one will deploy back here. So there's a little bit coming on. The Confederates have more stands, about 71 or something. So they will suffer heavy losses at 14, while the Union will suffer heavy losses at 11. But they do have some reserves coming as well to boost up their numbers. So we'll see what happens. I will be operating the Confederates, and the artificial intelligence will be operating the Union. We'll see how it goes. So I'll point out my solo artificial intelligence table when it pops up later on. Okay, so I'll give you a bit of a rundown of these starting positions, and the Confederates are going to be going first because they are attacking, but I'm a bit worried about the defences and the numbers. I've only got 2 brigades to attack with at the moment, and they've got some artillery, and they've got 3 fresh brigades, plus they've got reserve and 3 batteries of artillery, so it's going to be a tough one for me to win, I reckon. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'm not saying it's not fair, but it's going to be difficult to attack, which is what I want, a bit of a challenge. So I'm going to start with Rhodes Brigade, and I need to get up there and attack, but I want to bring my numbers to bear, and I don't want to end up being disordered. Now, the rules for the terrain is that the fallen trees here, that the defences at the front here, they're not going to slow me down, but they will cause me to be disordered if I move across them. So they're going to take some time to get across. So I'm going to start off with Rhodes Brigade here. And I think I will... I don't think Garland's going to need, so I'm going to attach Hill to that brigade just to make sure that they do get moving. So Hill has attached to Rhodes Brigade. We give them some bonuses, and lucky I did because I've rolled a 2. They're fresh 4. They've got an attached commander 6, and they've got their divisional commander 7, and Rhodes is an exceptional brigade commander 8. So that's fine. They're well handled. And then they're moving up. And what I'm going to do line is a bit of a defense. Right, so they've formed a massive line because I just want to move up and do some shooting while I'm waiting for some reinforcements to arrive. So next I'll do Garland's brigade over here. Exceptional commander. So fresh is 5, exceptional commander 6, Longstreet 7. They're okay, and they can make a move. So where do I want them to move? Longstreet up. I do have artillery here to move as well. The artillery will move and unlimber. I think they'll move and unlimber and just go up here. So we have those guns are unlimbered. And then we will have some defensive fire. Now there is one gun over here. So the Union have got one gun here which can shoot at Garland's brigade, which have just moved up, and it's about 10 inches away. 4 fire points, which gives them a -1. Oh! You can't go low on ammo on turn 1, luckily. A -1 takes it down to a 9 against an experienced unit. Telling fire, disordered and loser troop stand. So the first loss for the Confederates. And they're disordered. Well, we didn't want that at the start. So those guys are disordered. And that gun fired. But I don't think there's going to be any offensive fire. So that is it. Okay, so things are not desperate at the moment, so I don't think the Union would attach anybody. Keyes and Casey are happy sitting there having a chat over there. These Copper brigades are on the defense. So I'll start with Vessel's brigade here, and they're fine, even with a 3, with a commander and fresh and so on, and they are defensive. So there are disordered enemy within 12 inches, so that might change their mind. So there is disordered enemy within 12, which gives them a +2 on my artificial intelligence. There's no other factors, so they get a 5-7. So they're going to dig in, change formation to line, and gain partial cover until move. So they're just going to stay where they are. Well, that suits them. Naglee's brigade, again, I roll for their manoeuvre. They're fine. And they also have disordered enemy within 12, so they get a +2. So again, a 7. They're just going to dig in, gain partial cover until they move. So they're already in cover. Then we're going to have, just for interest's sake, we've got Palmer's brigade out there on the flank. So Palmer's brigade, you can get a good shot of Palmer's brigade there and see what they're going to do. I'm playing them as unpredictable. So Palmer's brigade we have here. So I roll for their manoeuvre. They're in command and they're fresh. So they're getting a +3, +4. They've got 2 commanders and they're fresh. So +4. So that's a 5. So they still are well handled, just. may perform one maneuver. So we'll roll on the unpredictable. They're not in range to get any bonuses. They're not in the range to get because there's enemy disordered within 12. They're not out of command or anything, so it's just going to be a straight roll on the unpredictable table. Well, let's see what happens. So they've rolled a 9. 8 to 9. Move to cover or dig in. If dig in gave partial cover until move. So they're going to move to cover. So there's some woods there. So they're going to move up and go into those woods. So I'm kind of happy with the AI in that case. It didn't unpredictable, but they're moving towards the cover. So they're going to oblique. The woods are rough ground, so they're limited to 6 inches. So they're just going to keep their facing and oblique into the woods, which gives them some cover. So we don't know what they're going to do next turn because they are unpredictable, Farmers Brigade. But that was interesting. I may have moved them up in support, but that's what need a name for the artificial intelligence, maybe. Anyway, we'll call it. Think of it. Come up with a good name for my artificial intelligence. Let's see. Okay, so if we zoom in on Couch's division with all that artillery and Peck and Abercrombie and Devon's cavalry. So if we look at them, they have now been released because the Confederates have hit the old defences. So we will manoeuvre them, and they are aggressive. Why have I made them aggressive? Even they're supposed to be on the defence. Well, the last thing as the Confederate player is I don't want them coming up and attacking me while I'm trying to deal with this defence in the front here. So it's the worst case for me. So I'm trying to make the AI as hard to play against as possible. So we'll just roll for, they're not going to attach, their Couch isn't going to attach to anybody. So we'll roll for Devon's cavalry. And, they're out of command, so they're not getting any bonuses there. That puts them on a 3. Tardy. May move, deploy from column or dismounted cavalry. So if they're tardy, they're only allowed to roll on the defensive table. So I'll roll on the defensive table for them. They get a 6. And they dig in partial cover until move. So they're dug in, they're in cover anyway, so they're just going to sit there. Okay, the artillery will move up and just move up, I think. Depends on what the other 2 brigades are going to do. So I'll roll for Peck's brigade. Oh, they're moving, no problem, and they're aggressive. A 10. So they're going to charge. They can ignore terrain. That's a little artificial intelligence bonus for them. But they would charge if there was enemy around, but there's no enemy around. So they're just going to move towards the enemy in a logical position. So there's Peck out here. So they can ignore terrain. So what I would like them is out next to the, so they're going to oblique through the terrain. And that's probably not what I wanted as the Confederate player, but they've moved up quicker than I wanted. Next we'll roll for Abercrombie's brigade. So Abercrombie, fresh and in command and so on. So that's their manoeuvre. Whoa. So they're getting +4 to that, so that's 5. Yeah, they're well handled, so they can manoeuvre. And on my AI is a 7. And move towards enemy to engage at close range. They would charge if they could, and they're going to move towards the enemy. So I want to keep them in command with Peck's brigade there. So they're just going to move up behind the fence there. Looks good. And the artillery. So that's them. So they're following their artificial intelligence orders, following their orders. Maybe we should call it orders rather than, come think of some better names. All right, so that's them. So they've moved up. The Union defense is looking quite strong now. And the Confederates they've got their work cut out for them. Let's see what happens. No charge combat. Let's have a look at the defensive fire. We do have some defensive fire. Let's not skip too far ahead. Defensive fire. Okay, so defensive fire, they do have some one battery here, which again will probably be at the same sort of range, about 10 inches away, I'd say at the moment. Yeah, about 10 away. Those guys are in partial cover, and it'll be 4 fire points. Yeah, 4 fire points. That'll be at -1. Partial cover, -2. 6 becomes a 4. Against experience, lively fired. They'll be disordered. No effect of its musketry, so those guys will be disordered. Okay, so the Union does have their own artillery, which is this battery, which this will be offensive fire. We'll get to shoot at Garland's brigade again, and that'll be at -1. That's a 5. Lively fire, brigade disordered. Silence from here, no effect if only musketry. So they're already disordered. So no charge combat. So we go up to the 130. Okay, so it's 130, and the reserves, which is Rains and GB Anderson's brigades, have arrived down here. So Confederate turn. Let's go into the manoeuvre phase. Okay, so Hill's going to stay attached back here. Longstreet's is going to stay there. So we've got Garland's brigade here, which took a casualty. So they are disordered. So we'll roll for them. So they're still fresh. They have a commander. So we'll just see what we roll. 8, 9, 10. Yes, they're going to be fine. They will rally with Elan. Quite go up too close, but just at musket range, get some shots off as they're going across. Okay, then I've got Anderson's brigade way out here. I'll roll for them. 7, 8, 9, they're okay. They're going to move up in support. Just a bit of a moved up wheel just before the woods. So with them is Rains brigade. We'll roll for them. 9, they're okay as well. So they will push up. We've got way over here with Hill attached is Rhodes brigade. And they're all a 2, but they're fresh and got a commander. They'll be fine. They're going to move up until they hit some. There's nothing to stop them there. They've blocked the road with some woods there, so staying out of the swamp. Okay, that's them. Now we just move the commanders. So Longstreet, stay there and keep everybody in command. And then we've got some defensive fire. Okay, so Union defensive fire, I think they will try and concentrate on Garland's brigade, and they've got, you can see through 2 inches of woods there, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, they'll have to shoot that way, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so 13 plus the artillery. Let's see what the range of the artillery is. It is just over 6 inches. So rifles just over 6 inches, so it's going to be 4. So 13, so 17 fire points. I think I've got that right. We'll give them a +3. So +3 becomes a 5. So 5, lively fire, brigade disordered. So they're disordered again, and they were disordered from crossing the buttus anyway, from the fallen trees. So they are disordered again. These guys all fired. Fired. They concentrated their fire. These guys fired. And then if we come over here a little bit, I'm not sure if we've got any more fire. These guys are out of range. Okay, so we got these guys. They could probably get some shots off over here, not shooting through the woods. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 at them. 5 fire points will give us a -1. So see if the Confederate shooting can do anything. Oh, that's not bad. Becomes a 7. Telling fire. Well done, boys. Brigade disordered and lose a troop stand. So these guys are now disordered. And they'll lose a stand. First loss. Then we've got Garland's Brigade. So Garland's Brigade are disordered, but they will have quite a few shots. Let's have a look at them. So they've got in the defenders, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stands. Plus the artillery will all concentrate on Vessel's Brigade. So 11 divided by 2 because they're disordered, so it's down to 5. And the artillery at that range, shooting at Vessel's Brigade, yeah, that will give them another 4, so 9. So 9 fire points will give them a +1. -1 for the cover. Oh, an 8. Oh, telling fire. So they lose a troop stand. And they are disordered. So not bad. Not bad offensive fire. And I don't think we've got any other fire. So these guys fired. It's not too bad so far. Both sides taking a few casualties, but surprisingly, the Confederates have so these guys would have taken galling fire because they're in the woods. So they didn't lose a stand, but they are disordered, which is the Confederates will take that. So I forgot to give them some cover. They're mainly in the woods. They were shooting out of the woods, but they are mainly a target in the woods from these guys. So there would have been extra -1. So I think they rolled an 8, so it would have been down to a 6. So that concludes the Confederate turn 2, the 130 turn. The reinforcements have arrived. They've disordered a couple of brigades there. There's no charge combat. So now it's the Union turn. Okay, so the Union turn, we've got, I think it's Vessel's Brigade is disordered in the defences there. But this brigade here is disordered as well. The others are coming up in support. So we'll see what they do. So we'll start with the defenders in the barricades here. And we'll start with Vessel's Brigade. Will we attach anybody? I think it's important. So I think that Casey will come and attach himself to Vessel's Brigade to make sure that they rally. Other commanders will stay where they are, but that's probably the most important one. So we'll roll for Vessel's Brigade with Casey has attached. Let's see what they get. Oh, 2. Not ideal. Okay, so they're fresh. So it puts them up to a 4. They've got an attached commander. Puts them up to a 6. He's not exceptional or anything, no. But they've got to put them up to 7. 7, they will rally, return to good order, may half move, deploy from class. So they're going to rally. They're on the defense. So I'll roll on my defensive AI, which is, I hope, not going to give them a stand back. But they have disordered enemy within 12. So they're getting a +2. They're on the defensive column. So they get a 7-9. Dig in, change formation to line, gain partial cover until moved, and they regain their lost base. So reinforcements have arrived. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. So Vessel's Brigade is all okay again. They rallied and they regained a lost casualty. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Okay. So next we'll try and rally Palmer's Brigade over here. So Palmer's Brigade, they are disordered, but they're in command and they're fresh. They've got one commander and they're fresh. So a +3. So that becomes a 5. A 5 is shaken. Retreat beyond musketry. Hold position if out of range or fortified. The return to good order. So they return to good order. And should I roll on the, if they rally, they can roll on the defensive table. Disordered enemy within range. They're not disordered anymore. So they get an 8. So they're just going to, they can only roll if they rally. They can roll on the defensive table. Change formation to line, gain partial cover until moved. Right, so they've gained partial cover. They're already in the woods anyway. So they're just going to sit there. So they're done. They're done. Now we've got to roll for Naglee's Brigade, who are also disordered. So they're rallying well. They have a commander and they're fresh. So they will be Naglee's Brigade on a +3. 3 becomes a 6. And they will rally, return to good order. So they rally. They return to good order. We'll roll on the defensive AI to see what they get. Anything interesting? Oh, the enemy, they're getting a +1, a +2, so they're on 3. Move towards cover or better position. Well, they're already in cover, so they're just going to sit there, but no bonuses for them or anything. So they're just going to sit there, which is what I would probably do anyway. All right, then we get the aggressive brigade up the back. See what they're going to do. All right, well, we'll start with Abercrombie's Brigade up the back, or not. We'll start with Peck's Brigade, which are moving up through the woods. So they're in command and they're fresh. So they're going to maneuver, no problem. And they're aggressive. There's no enemy disordered or anything within 12. So they're just a straight roll at the aggressive table. Oh, they get a 2. Move towards cover. Move, protect flanks. Look for support or outflank enemy. So their cunning plans would be to try and outmaneuver the enemy. So if I was them, I would move towards cover and oblique into the woods here more. So they're lurking in the cover. So that gives them something to think about over there. So they have moved towards the swamp. They're in the swamp. All right, then we got next to them is Devon's Cavalry, I think. So they're well handled. They're going to move. So we'll roll on the aggressive table. No bonuses, just a straight 4. Move to protect flanks, look for support or to outflank the enemy. So pretty logically move to cover. So they're just going to oblique up there next to Peck's Brigade. They're going to be on the edge of the woods, so they're going to be hard to dislodge because they're dismounted cavalry in the woods. So that's going to be another challenge to try and get rid of. So I'd say this artillery, there's woods here. You can see where the woods start and end there. So I think the artillery will move up and unlimber. Yeah, we've got a couple of batteries there. And the other one, well, he might just move up there for now. So these two have unlimbered. So there's a bit of artillery fire coming across the table there. And then we've got Abercrombie's Brigade up the back here. So we've got Abercrombie's Brigade. We'll roll for them. And they will manoeuvre. Yeah, they're no problem. We'll see what they roll on the AI. There's no enemy in the range, but I think they're just going to move up behind everyone. Yeah, charge, ignore terrain, move towards enemy. So they're just going to keep moving up. Logically, they're not going to burst through their friends, but they will move up in support. Bit of rough ground there. And they've moved up. Keys will stay there. Casey stays attached. Couch will move up. And just move up the front there so everyone can see him. And that's that. So the Union positions are looking quite strong. I've set myself a bit of a challenge now. Quite a strong defence is set up as we move into defensive. Okay, so they have some defensive fire here, even though Garland's brigade is still disordered. They still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Half of that is 5, plus 4 fire points from the artillery at Vessel's brigade. So that'll be 9. 9 will give them a +1, -1 for the defence. A 4 against experienced lively fire. Brigade disordered or silence from no effective only musketry. So they're back to being disordered again. And then we have a little bit of shooting here from Anderson's brigade. See if they can do anything against those guys in the woods. I'll give them the cover. Remember to give them the cover from the woods this time. And they'll have probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 fire points will give them a -1, -2 for the woods. So 5 at -2 is a 6. Galling fire. Brigade disordered and lose 1 stand if already disordered or break. So they are disordered again. They are disordered again. That is all the defensive fire. Now the Confederates say, ouch, there's going to be a bit of offensive fire. Okay, so they have a bit. These guys will concentrate on plus the artillery. It's adding 4, so that'll be 12. So 12 fire points will give them a +2. +2 versus Garland's brigade. So that's a 9. Again, more telling fire. And they lose another stand. And they're disordered again. They're already disordered. So that was all them firing. There and there. Now over this side we don't have any musketry fire, but we do have 2 guns. And those 2 guns at that range are going to be 12 inches. So that'll be 4 each, so 8 fire points. 8 fire points at Rhodes Brigade here. So 8 fire points gives them a 0. So 8. 3. 3 or less. Nothing. They dodged a bullet there. So that's all the defensive fire. This artillery fired there. Everybody has fired and there's no charge combat. So that's the end of the turn again. So it's a tough slog for the Confederates. Looking down the line, the battle rages on, and it looks like the Confederates are going to try and attempt an outflanking manoeuvre, is try and bust through here and avoid the defences, which are proving quite tough so far. Garland's brigade is copping a lot of firepower from the defenders, but we move on to the Confederate 2 p.m. turn. No reinforcements have arrived. The Union did lose one stand, but the generous artificial intelligence gave them a reinforcement there, so it's going to prove tough to break through. So on to the manoeuvre phase. Okay, so attach and detach commanders. So I think I'm going to Hill is going to move over and attach to Garland's brigade, because I think it's pretty important that they keep moving and stay focused on the fight there. And I'm going to start with Anderson's brigade over here. So Anderson is going to try and maneuver up through the woods there. So we'll see how they go. They've got a commander. Yes, we fell onto a 7 there. That's lucky. Now they're going to be slowed down by the woods down to 6 inches. And I really want to put pressure on those guys there. They are disordered at the moment. We can't quite charge them because the woods are in the way, but they're going to move up, and they will oblique. I'll get out my 6-inch move, so they're going to move up about there. It's a 30 degree oblique. They're going to move up there and take the cover, and then hopefully get into a bit of a firefight there with Palmer's brigade, and maybe they can win that flank. We'll see what happens. Okay, so they've moved up there, and then we've got Rain's brigade. They're probably going to have to go across the abutters, the fallen trees there. They're in command and they're fresh, and it becomes a 6 terrain. Yes, they can. So they're just going now, the important one is Garland's brigade here, who are disordered, but they're still fresh. They've taken 2 losses, so they're still fresh. Exceptional brigade commander attached, and so on. They'll be okay. They will. What have they got? A 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. They're okay. They'll rally. Return to good order. May half move. So the guys in front of them are disordered, but they do have the artillery attached, standing there copping it, so they may as well go for it. So they're going to charge. We'll see if they can.
The bayonet, and when you charge, yell like furies.
Break through. Do something. Let's see what happens. So they have charged. And then the final unit we have, going to leave the artillery there firing. Finally have his Rhodes Brigade. Rhodes Brigade in command and fresh. And that'll be a 3-6. That'll be a 6. Well handled. May perform a manoeuvre, but they're going to move up. They're going to be disordered, crossing the log. Slow attack on this flank. They're going to cop a fair bit of defensive fire. But they've got to push the attack. And that's it. They're sort of running out of options. They must push up, otherwise they're going to keep losing stands. Okay, so defensive fire. We've got a shootout in the woods here, and they've that is Palmer's brigade, but they are disordered, which will help a little bit for the Rebs in their push forward. So they have got rifled muskets. They'll have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12, so that'll be 6. No one else could shoot. The other one will have to shoot that direction. So they will fire up to that stand there. So 12 halved to be 6 because they're disordered. So 6 will give them a 0, but they're -1 shooting at them in the woods. So 6 at minus. So -1. It'll be a 3 down to 2. So nothing happens there. Then we got the defensive fire, which is on Garland's brigade in the middle here. And they've charged. They're going to cop a fair bit of defensive fire here. It may not be good for them. 14. So 7 plus 7, 14. 2, 4, 6, 8. 14 plus 8. 22. 22 fire points. Still gets them a +4. Yep. +4. Using the wrong dice for them. 4. Whoa! The artillery is now low on ammo. And these guys have all fired. The artillery added the most, so the artillery is now low on ammo. Where's my little low on ammo markers? I haven't had them out. Ammunition. So I've got my little low on ammo marker there. Okay, so that's a 14, 11 or more. So against withering fire. Lose 2 troop stands and so 14. So yeah, it was +4, so it's a 14. If it was 15 or more, they lose an additional troop stand. So they lose 2. 2 go down, and they're disordered again, and the charge is checked. So they'll come back, and I believe we have to roll to see if something happened to Hill. Okay, so rolling on the fallen leader table for Hill. D.H. Hill was with the unit. Oh no, what could happen? Oh, it's an 8. Mortally wounded. Remove leader and replace after 1 full turn. So Hill's been carried from the field. Another 2 stretcher bearer. Stretcher bearer. All right, but they have run out of ammunition there. These guys, 2, 4, 6, 8. They are now worn. So Garland's brigade's now worn and they're disordered. Okay, so defensive fire up the other end. And we've got quite a bit here. We've got the 2 guns at about 8 inches, which will, what will they add? They'll add 4 each. Another couple so they're on 8 already. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they're out 5, 6. Plus the artillery, that's 14 fire points. 14 will get them a +2. Oh, 10. Killing fire again. These guys have lost the stand. And they will be disordered. Okay, so a good round of defensive fire, I think. The rifle carbines, yeah, they're out of range there. That is all the defensive fire. We do have some offensive fire. So we've got Anderson's brigade here. So Anderson's brigade will be able to give them something back. So they will have, and I better check the arc. Yep, alright, so that's okay. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 will get them a +2, but -1 for the woods. So 12 gives them +2, -1 for the woods, so that becomes a 4. Against experience, lively fire, but no effective, just musketry. So nothing happened there. All right, then we've got what's left of Garland's brigade. They're an inch away, so they'll be, it should be 8 gives us 0, so -1 for the defences. 8 at -1. Whoa, they're low on ammo now as well. But they've got a 10, so it becomes a 9. So telling fire, they're disordered and they lose a troop stand again. But we'll see if they can, they're already disordered. Okay, yeah, I almost forgot, Casey did attach to Vessel's brigade here. So, and they've rolled a 10, low on ammo from Garland's brigade, but they've need to roll on the fallen leader table. We'll see what happens to Casey. Leaders are falling like flies. Alright, it is a 5. Horse shot out from under him. No command radius, half move, and lose acceptable rating for 1 turn. So I'll just tip him over. He got unhorsed for a minute. I'll just tip him over like that. Remember that he's been unhorsed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 halves, so 3, so 7. 7 will give him a 0. 0 at so -1 for the cover. So 6. And galling fire. Disordered. Lose 1 stand for a disorder. But no, they've disordered. So at least they're disordered. That'll slow them down a little bit. Okay, so that's the end of that turn. We don't have any charge combat again. Garland's brigade's taking a lot of punishment there. And now they're low on ammo. They're disordered and low on ammo. They're not going too well. And they've lost hill. So the attack is not going so great in the middle. Only hope is that the flanks will hang on. Union, so Casey's unhorsed, he's out of action for a turn basically, no command radius, so he's not going to do anything. I suppose, I'm not sure if he's not going to have any effect. This gun is low on ammo, but it might stay there because it can still provide a fair bit of firepower in defense there. There's a lot of disordered stuff and the guns are there, so we'll start up this end, and I think after seeing that, Keys is not going to attach and Couch is not going to attach over there either. So we'll start with the unpredictable Palmer's Brigade in the woods there. So they're going to have 1 commander and they're fresh. So we'll roll for them and see what happens. They're fine. They rally. +1, yeah, 6 to 9. Rally, return to good order. May half move. Alright, so they've rallied. So I'm not sure what would I do. So I roll on my artificial intelligence, and they are unpredictable. There is disordered enemy within 12, so they're getting a +2. So a +2 to this on the unpredictable table becomes a 9, 8 to 9. Move to cover or dig in. If dig in, gain partial cover until move. So they're already in partial cover. So what they'll do is they'll just shuffle across a little bit obliquely so that they're about an inch away. And they're in good order. So they'll be able to do some decent firing there. It's all happening. All right, then the next one is the important one in here, which is Vessel's Brigade. They're hanging on bravely. They're still they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that losing that stand knocks them down to being worn. So they're just getting a +1 for having a commander. So they're rolling at a +1 because Casey got unhorsed. They get a 3 +1, 4. So they're shaken. Retreat beyond musketry range. They're just going to hold position. So if they're shaken, I can roll for them on the defensive table still to see if they get any bonuses from the AI. So they get a +2 on this roll. A 1 becomes a 3. Defensive move towards cover or better position. Well, they're not going to move, but they're wavering. They remain disordered, so that's pretty good for the Confederates. I'm rooting for the Confederates here. They stay disordered, but they're going to stay in the cover there. So it's a ding-dong battle in the middle. Not much happening there. Then we'll go across to Naglee's Brigade in the defences there. They are still fresh. 2, 4, 6, 8, still fresh. So they're getting a +3 on the manoeuvre table. They're 8. They're fine. Well handled. I'm not sorry. They rally. They rally. So I can roll on the defensive table for them. They get a 6 on the defensive table, and that would mean they would dig in Yeah, they're in partial cover, so they're just going to stay there. So nothing. The AI is just doing what it would normally do, so it works out okay. That gun's going to stay limbered. Those guns are going to stay there. Now, these brigades, which is Devon's cavalry and Peck's brigade, they are aggressive over here. So these guys are going to be rolling on the aggressive table if they get a well-handled result. This will be interesting now. So we'll do Peck's brigade, which are over in the woods there. Their orders were to manoeuvre. They are in command, then they are fresh. So that's a 5. I believe they're well handled. Yeah, they can perform one manoeuvre. Then I'll roll on the aggressive table to see what they're going to do. There's no enemy disorder. Oh, there is enemy disorder, so they're getting a +2 on this. So they're keen to go. Yes. All right. 11 or more. They're going to charge, ignore terrain, and move towards enemies. So they ignore the terrain. That's a bonus I've given the AI, and so they're going to charge. So that's interesting. So they see this. They ignore the terrain. Special AI bonus.
And when you charge, yell like furies.
And they're going to charge. So that's them. Rhodes Brigade, they've spotted that they are disordered and they've charged. They'll roll for Devon's cavalry back there. They're well handled. They get a +2 on this roll. And it's a 3 on the aggressive. A 3 becomes a 5. Move towards enemy to engage at close range. So they will, probably logically, they wouldn't move up to the guns. So that what I'll do is I'll wheel them around. I don't want to screen the guns. I'll move up there just to shoot those guys. And that's them. And I've got Brigade over in the middle there. Abercrombie's Brigade, which is sort of in reserve. They don't want to, yeah, they'll be well handled with commanders and so on. I roll on the aggressive table with a +2 anyway, just to see what happens. They get a 9. So they would charge, but I don't want them to charge through the defences. So logically, I have to think they're keen to get going. They're not going to interpenetrate and upset everybody, but they can see that there's going to be an attack on the left there. So what they'll do is they'll give them a bonus. They can march by the flank because they can see that the defence over here may need some help. So I'm just going to allow them moved and unlimbered in there. And that is it. That's the manoeuvre phase. So we've had some charges. Interesting things happen. So these guys have come out of the woods here in charge. They've moved across. The guys in the middle are still. The disappointment for the Union is Vessel's Brigade has remained disordered, but the others have rallied and moved up. When we've got a charge, we might get a charge combat eventually. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we've got some defensive fire, and we'll start up this end. We've got Anderson's Brigade in the woods here. So they're in good order. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 12 at -1 for the woods. So 12 fire points gives them a +2. So it ends up being a +1. Oh, 10. Telling fire. Disordered and lose a stand. And that's that. Oh, could have had a 5-point. Forgot about them again. Okay, then Garland's Brigade. Now I have to look up their out. So you only have one, so I just looked it up. So Garland's Brigade is low on ammunition and they're disordered, but you only have one. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So we halve it down to 8. 8 fire points. We'll give them a 0 modifier. Yeah, 0 modifier. -1 for the defense. Ooh, 7. So 7. It's still a telling fire. Disordered and lose a troop stand. So they've lost another one. There. 1, 2, 3. They're still not spent yet, but they have fired. And they're hanging in there. Garland's brigade. It's a bit of a battle in the middle there. Okay, so then we've got the artillery, which is going to add 4 fire points onto Naglee's brigade. And these guys can add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They might shoot that way. The guys coming in, so sorted. So 3 plus the 4, 7 fire points at Naglee's brigade. Will give them a 0 -1 for the cover. That becomes 5. Lively fire, disordered. No effective musketry only, but they are disordered again. They disordered them. But that's about all. And then we've got the 10, 12, 14, defensive fire here. 8 will give them a 0. So a straight roll on Peck's brigade. Becomes a 9. So a 9 is charge checked. Telling fire, disordered and lose a troop stand. So that didn't work out too well for them. But they're unpredictable, aggressive move there, charging. I'm pointing the right way. Lose a troop stand, and they're disordered as well. Okay, so we're up to offensive fire. Burning through the turns here. So we'll have a reply from Palmer's brigade in the woods here. So Palmer's brigade in the woods, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 6. 6 will get you a 0, but -1 because they're shooting through the woods there. 4 becomes a 7 again. So telling fire, and they've lost the stand. And they are disordered. They're disordered. Running out of disorder markers because there's so much going on. Okay, so next we have some fire from Vessel's brigade. And we'll add up their fire points. And some shots from over here. They're disordered as well. And they've got rifled muskets, so they're 2 up to 4 inches. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that'll be 4, 6, 8. So 4. So that's 9. Plus the artillery, which is hard, plus 3. So we'll give them 12 fire points. So 12 fire points on Garland's brigade. 12 will give them a +2. Becomes a 6. Galling fire, disordered. Lose 1 troop stand if already disordered. So they've lost another one. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, they're down to, well, they're not spent yet. They're still going on. Okay, and then up this end, plus the rifled carbines here. Rifled carbines will give them 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 10 they're on, plus the other 10. 21. 21 fire points at Rhodes Brigade. So 21. We'll get them a +4. Cool! One of those is low on ammo. Let's say, I'll get into low on ammo marker if I've got one, but let's say that gun there is low on ammo for now. I'll just put that marker there. And that will be withering fire. There's 2 troop stands. And they're disordered. Already disordered. Okay, so I got the right marker this time. So I'll say that gun there is low on ammo. Put it at the front there so I remember that they are low on ammo. lot of ammunition. Okay, so that's the end of the turn again, because there's don't have any charge combat. No one's made it into combat yet at all. The fire has been quite deadly, so we better add up the casualties and update the score. Okay, so there's a summary. It's all happening in the middle there. We've got disordered brigades and low on ammunition everywhere. Things are getting tough. The Confederates have lost 9 stands and the Union have lost 4. So it's the 2:30 turn. So one more turn before the Confederates start to get some reinforcements, and then another. So let's start with the Confederate maneuver phase. So attaching commanders. So better look up the because Hill was mortally wounded. We go over that again. What happens to the mortally wounded? Remove leader in place after 1 full turn. Okay, so it won't be this turn, it'll be next turn, because he got lost last turn. So this turn, at the end of this turn, we can replace him. All right, so we won't be attaching, Longstreet won't be attaching himself anywhere. He's the lone commander. So we will start with Anderson's brigade over here. So we can get Anderson's brigade to rally. They are still fresh, but they don't have a commander. No, they don't have a commander. They're in the woods anyway, but they're fresh. So they're getting a +2. +2 on the rally table. Really would like them to charge now while the other guys are still disordered. So +2 becomes a 6. 6 is rally, return to good order, may half move. So they're going to rally and they're going to charge.
Them the bayonet, and when you charge, yell like furies.
Something's got to get a charge combat in here somewhere while the other guys are disordered. So we'll do Rains brigade. Rains brigade will get a +2. They got Longstreet is in range. Oh, Longstreet's exceptional. Another +1 up here. Add their firepower. Get ready for next turn. So that's Rains brigade. Okay, so next we've got Garland's brigade. Garland's brigade are in a bit of trouble here, but they're low on ammo. They are disordered. We'll just try and rally them. I think that's all we can do. They're going to get a +2 because Longstreet is exceptional. They're not fresh anymore. So it becomes a 5. Oh dear. They're shaken. Retreat beyond musketry range and return to good order. So they're going to retreat.
General, the day's gone against us.
If you think so, sir, you'd best not say anything about it.
Back here. And return to good order. Okay, so then finally we have the Rhodes Brigade, who are still fresh, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Still fresh. One off being born, but they're disordered. So we'll roll for them. 7, rally, return to good order. So they've got that brigade in front of them. Disordered, they're going to go in. They're going to try and push in here. Try and force the issue. So they're going to charge.
Them the bayonet, and when you charge, yell like furies.
So they've presented themselves there. Okay, so that's the situation. We've got a charge combat here. they've moved up. These guys have fallen back, and these guys have charged. And Longstreet will move over here. We'll try and keep himself central. He's got to cover everybody. He'll go here. He's got everybody under control. He's got to do it alone until someone comes to replace Hill. So we're up to defensive fire. Okay, so defensive fire down here. Palmer's Brigade, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 6. 6 will get you 0. But -1 for the Woods. Nothing. Well, looks like we're going to have a charge combat there. We've got what's left of Vessel's Brigade, 2, 4. So that'll be 2 fire points, plus 1 from up the back there. So 3 fire points will give them -2 against Rains' Brigade there. Oh, not bad shooting boys. They're low on ammo anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Oh no, the gun's low on ammo, so they are low on ammo. Put that out in front. They're all low on ammo in there now, and that's telling fire. So they'll lose another stand, and they are disordered. So they fired. And they fired over there. This gun can fire. You can fire at Garland's Brigade, so the gun can still get a shot at Garland's Brigade there. He's low on ammo. It'll be 2 fire points. No, nothing. And then we've got some defensive fire here, which is going to be a bit rough for Rhodes Brigade. And we've got the 2 guns over here, plus that one of them's low on ammo. So they were rifled smoothbores up to there, so 4. Give them another 1. So 22 fire points. That'll get them up to +4. 10. The charge is not going in, telling fire that these guys will bounce back disordered. And that's okay. So then we'll have the offensive fire, which will we'll start up this end. These guys, they did not go disordered, so we'll have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 will give them a +1. Things are looking good for the Confederates in the woods there. 12 will give them a +2, -1 for the Woods. So +1 becomes an 8. Telling fire, they'll lose the stand, and they're already disordered. Putting some hurt on him there, and then we've got offensive fire from these guys. Do they have the arc? Let's have a look. Yep. So there will be 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 halves, so 2. Plus the artillery will fire at them as well. Yeah, the artillery. Does the artillery have the arc? Let's have a look. Not quite. Alright, so 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 fire points. Be a shot at lots of minuses, but where if we roll high? Well, 2 gets you -3, the cover -4, so that's a 4. Lively fire, disordered. They're already disordered. No effect from musketry, so nothing happened there. Garland's Brigade is out of range, and the gun. Now the lone gun. Fire points. Gives you a -1, -2 for the cover. becomes a 6. Galling fire. Disordered, and 1 troop stand if they're already disordered. That's not bad, and they're already disordered. The gun has fired there. And then we've got up the other end here some offensive fire from the charger. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So it becomes a 9. So 9 will get them a +1. So many of them. Becomes a 5. Galling fire. Disordered. Lose 1 troop stand if already disordered. So they knocked a stand off there and they're already disordered. Well, that was some good return fire. So they've all fired. So that looks like it. We do finally have some charge combat. So we'll come back with that.
From the bayonet, and when you charge, yell like furies.
Okay, so we finally have some charge combat in the woods here. We have the number of stands participating. We might have an outnumber because the Confederates have got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 versus 2, 4, 5. So they outnumber 2 to 1. Well, the Confederate factors, they're fresh and they outnumber. That's a negative, right? No attached, not disordered. They're supported, so they're fresh and supported, so they're on a 3. Rebel yell will give them a 4, so they're on a 4 so far. And that's about it. So the rebels are on a 4. And then the Union, are they 2 to 1? So that's a -2. They are disordered, so that's a -3. They're not low on ammunition. We'll give them defending favourable ground, so they're at a -2. That's about it, because let's say they're defending in the tree. So they're at a -2, and the rebels at a +4. Okay, well, that is a very big difference. +4, 14 to like a negative. So they're swept from the field. Okay, so by my calculation, it's going to be a final score of 14 to -1. So it's a difference of 15. So the defender's is going to lose 2 troop stands on. Additionally, troop stands or batteries to the dice roll difference over 10. Oh. Batteries are captured equal to the dice roll difference over 10. So they're going to lose. They're going to lose the lot. The whole lot will be gone. The attacker can do a breakthrough charge, half move at the double quick towards closest enemy. Towards the closest enemy, let's say they'll wheel around a little bit. They're carried away, chasing down those guys that ran away. That's a big turnaround on this flank, and at the end of it, they will be disordered. But that's what we needed. That's what the Confederates needed, is this big breakthrough charge on the left flank. All right, so we'll just tally up the losses and move on to the Union turn. Okay, so the Union have suffered heavy losses on this left flank now. They've lost 12 out of the 11 stands to suffer heavy losses, and the Confederates have lost 11. So it's a very bloody battle, a battle for 7 pines. So we'll start off with the Union turn. So we continue with the Union turn, and the start of the turn, I think Casey fell off his horse, and he's going to get back up on his horse. So Casey will be back up on his horse there. So that's good for him. I don't think he's going to attach to anybody, or will he? He's learned his lesson. They're about to get swamped here in the middle because they're all low on ammo. Both units in here are low on ammo. Yeah, so Vessel's brigade is disordered. The gun and the brigade there are all low on ammo. They could start to pull back and get out of that position. I think that might be the best bet for them. And then maybe Abercrombie's brigade could move up and take the position. But then they have to be aware that the Confederates have broken through on the left here, and these guys are going to come around. So difficult decision, but so I think it's important. Casey's going to attach to Vessel's brigade again to give them a bonus, and we'll roll for them. They have got, they're no longer fresh. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so they're worn. So they'll be getting a +2 for an attached commander, plus their divisional commander, so they're on a +3. That's all they're going to get, +3. Rally up to a 9, so that's okay. They're going to rally, return to good order, so they're not disordered anymore, and they can make a half move. They're on the defensive table. They're in cover. I don't think they've got anything that's going to make them be able to pull back. They probably need to limber up that artillery and pull back to a better position as well. I'll just roll on the defensive table and see what they get. They've got -1 for being worn, but +2 for the enemy disorder within. So they're at a +1. Well, so they've got a 10, which is, they really want to dig in, gain partial cover until they move. So they're, I'm going to change that name from dig in, maybe to get fighting or ducking for cover or something like that. But it might be an idea for those guys to pull back from the terrain or hang in there. No, they've rallied. They're going to hang in there. They're low on ammo though. It's a pretty precarious position for them to stay there. So they're just going to stay there, but they'll remain low on ammo unless they pull back. So we've got behind them, we have got Abercrombie's brigade. They need to really move out to the left there, or refuse their flank or something, to protect themselves from Anderson's brigade, which is going to come around to their left. So we'll roll for Abercrombie's brigade. They're in command and they're fresh. So they're getting a +3. So that's a 5. They're well handled. They'll be okay to maneuver. They need to work out what type of maneuver I can do there to help them. So they really need to protect that flank. I'm just going to move the commanders out of the way, and they will wheel 45. Like so. It'll last much longer. Limber out of the way. So that's probably as much as they could do. Wheel, and then maybe refuse a flank. So just bend those guys back a little bit. That's probably the best they can do to at least oppose that threat on that flank. Okay, so next we've got Naglee's brigade, who are worn, but they do have their commander, and it is Couch. Couch is in range. Couch is in range, so they get a +1 for him. But they're worn, so they're just getting a +1, but heavy casualties, so a -1, so they're on a 0. Straight roll.
General, the day's gone against us.
If you think so, sir, you'd best not say anything about it.
Oh dear, that's not good. So it's a bit of a turning point. They've broken, and they're going to move 16 inches away. That's the broken. There's a bit of rough ground behind them, so it's a 16-inch move. So let's just move them back here, and they're going to form up around the colours. Let's say they go back about this far, slowing a little bit down for the, and they have broken. It's the end of. So the defences are looking a bit shaky in the middle here now. Okay, so then we've got The artillery's still there. One of those guns is low on ammo, so they do have a lot of artillery left there. But it looks like the middle is crumbling. Let's go over to this side and have a look at Peck's Brigade. Warn. So the commander, +1, -1 for the commander. So it's a straight roll. Oh, a 7. That's a bit better. So they rally. Return to good order. Now, they are on aggressive orders. So what would I do? They may just sit there and shoot, but they're going to cop some defensive fire first. But I roll on the aggressive table to see what they've got. +2. +2 to the... Oh, it becomes a 4 on the aggressive table. Charge, move towards enemy. All right, so they're going to charge again. They're going to have another crack at Rhodes Brigade. We'll roll for the cavalry, Devon's cavalry, which are next to them there. They've rolled a 2. They're fresh, so that's a 4. Commander, 5. They're well handled. We'll roll on the aggressive table for them. They might want to get in, stuck in as well. They're getting a no pluses. A 6. Charge, +2. They're going to charge as well. Okay, so bear in mind, I probably should have mounted them up and charged. Would have been more interesting here. But anyway, threw them in just for a bit of fun. The battle's nearly over anyway, I think. We'll probably follow up there. And we've got a big combat here. This could turn the battle back the other way. They need a victory here. Okay, so I'll just move the commanders around. I think Couch will come up here and just keep in near those guys. After the manoeuvring, I think this gun will pivot. These guns will pivot just to... They can pivot 45 and still shoot. So I'll just pivot the gun so they can shoot over here at Garland's brigade, because the other guys are in the way there. And that's about all the manoeuvring that they're going to do. And so then we're on to defensive fire. So we've got these guys. We better check their firing arc. They are disordered, but that doesn't mean anything. We have had quite a bit of defensive fire causing a bit of damage. So they've got 3 stands. 3 will give them 1 fire point because they're disordered. So is it worth rolling? Yeah, why not? 1 fire point. Gives them a -4. Another -1 for the cover. -5. Down to a 3. So they didn't do anything. But they fired. There's no other firing here. We just got the 1 gun. And then we'll have the defensive fire from the brigade that's got charged. So we've got this gun, be 4 fire points, and smooth 4. Yeah, 4 fire points at Vessel's brigade. So it'll be -2 because of the cover. -1 for the only 4 fire points and the cover, so -2. And then we've got defensive fire here, which could be interesting. We've got a lot of firepower here, so we'll have to go through there. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 on Peck's brigade, and then 2, 4, 6, 8 on the cavalry. Okay, so correction here, Rhodes Brigade here should have been disordered, but would have been half fire points, but they rolled a couple of 10s. 8 at -1 gives them a -1. Oh. They are low on ammo as well. A +2. Oh, another 10. So that becomes... And they lost another 3 stands. So being aggressive, probably not always the best thing. Okay, so there will be a little bit of offensive fire. but not much. These guys are low on ammo, so there's going to be 2, 4. The artillery might be out of arc. Be 2, 4, so back down to 2. Properly well. So 2 will get you a -3. Yep, so -3, so that becomes a 7. Telling fire on these guys. They've lost a stand as well. Oh, I can't stop rolling 10s. So they fired there. The artillery will just have a pot shot over here just before we wrap it up, I think, because we'll see what happens. So these guys have rolled a 10. They're low on ammo again, but somehow they've rolled another 10. The battery that's in there is low on ammo. So it's 4 fire points. So it'll be down to 2. So it'll be a -3. -3 shooting at Garland's Brigade again. Garland's Brigade have been copying. Okay, so a final bit of shooting here. We've got this gun, this battery, which is low on ammo, plus some other guns over here. That one's going to get a 4. That'll be a 4. So that's that one's down to 2 because it's low on ammo. So that's we've got a 4 and a 2. So that's 6 fire points. Plus the other ones. That one's going to add 3. And another one for that one's low on ammo, so another 4. So 10 fire points at Garland's Brigade here. So 10 will get them a +1. A 1. So that has not been very successful. And then we've got some offensive fire. All right, well, that's the end of the turn. There's no charge combat or anything. So we'll have a look at the losses and see if it's worth continuing. It's got some reinforcements. Okay, so it's a 3 p.m. turn, and the Confederates have got their next brigade. So over down in this area here, we've got a fresh brigade. Kemper's Brigade has arrived. There's 13 stands there. Plus we've got Jenkins Brigade. So we've got Jenkins Brigade. So this flank on the left here has been reinforced. So Kemper and Jenkins have arrived under the command of Anderson. So Anderson has brought his division on. So they've got more reinforcements here. So this left flank is going to be won by the Confederates. I can't see the remnants holding on. So I think I could keep going, but I think I need to maybe do some more tweaks to my AI. But I think it works. It has merit. The Union Centre is totally disintegrated with that brigade breaking there. They do have some reinforcements that would come out of the swamp, but I think it's going to be one here in the middle. So I think the crossroads will be taken by these 3 brigades. 4 brigades are still coming in this direction. So I think it's pretty much all over. And I've enjoyed the battle. I thought the Union were going to hold on. But with this brigade breaking in the middle, and all these guys here being low on ammunition, there is one brigade there, but they're outnumbered by, let's say, 3 to 1. Another one over here, 4 to 1. The Union may win this side, probably. There's still a strong brigade over here, but I think that the attack around here is going to win out. These guys could probably rally. They don't have to do anything. It's just to hang on. Maybe they could even pull back. Garland's Brigade is pretty much gone, but there is Kemper's Brigade can push up through the middle. So that's the Battle of 7 Pines. This part of it, it's only a small part of it. But Longstreet has come on, got on the right road, the Williamsburg Road, and taken the crossroads. And I'm going to call it there. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I will be developing my AI for solo games a little bit more, but I think it has merit. It has some good ideas in there. So if you've got any other ideas about that, let me know. And we'll see you next time. Okay, bye for now.
Well, send a message to General Johnston that we have taken the crossroads, Seven Pines. The Union Army are in full retreat. General Anderson has assisted me on my left flank, and we will be in the crossroads and taking that position shortly. Regards, General Longstreet.